And welcome to week 34 of Walk the Plank, the podcast that takes a deep dive into the week that was Perry Athletics. And we're excited to have a couple of our student athletes of the week with us, as well as I'm joined by our assistant AD, Mindy Allen, and as always by my co-host, Gene Winters. Thanks for being here, Gene.
Yeah, another exciting week and a busy one for all the spring sports, and for you now as senior nights have started to pop up and keeping you busy on that side of it.
Yeah, for sure. Senior night, we just had our softball. Maddie Rupert's our athlete of the week on our female side this week, so we're going to talk a little bit of softball with her, but we just had softball senior night. Baseball senior night is tomorrow, Friday night, so we're shooting this on a Thursday afternoon. So that's right upon us. We had our track senior night, our first one ever that we've done for track. That was a interesting process. It always takes longer than you think, but it was a good way to recognize our track seniors. And tennis, our one lone senior, Alex Dame, who was on the show last week with his brother, as our athletes of the week for the boys last week, boys tennis. That one is wrapped up as well. So really, it's just at this point, it's just baseball to go, and we'll see how that goes tomorrow night as we hopefully get these games in with this weather that we're still having apparently. So
yeah, girls have Jefferson today, and then tomorrow night, as you mentioned, senior night being a night game under the lights, so give you a little bit of extra time to get the field ready and the boys out there.
We may need it, so we'll hope we have it. All right, but we're joined as well, as I mentioned, Mindy Allen is the assistant AD here at Perry Local Schools, middle school athletic director. So let's talk a little bit about middle school sports and where we're at. We're wrapping, starting to get to that point in the season where we're wrapping things up a little bit, and specifically track. We hosted our Big Perry Middle School Track Invitational. Is our biggest. If anybody was on campus Tuesday night, you probably had a hard time finding a spot to park.
Yeah, we had a lot of buses.
We had a lot of teams here. We had a lot of buses here. We had baseball and softball games going on. We had like 4 events going on all at one time. So it was great. The weather was good. It held out. But we had as many teams as we've ever had here competing in our middle school invitational, and we had some records broken that night as well by some of our teams. So we'll delve into all of that. But just in general, how have things been going at the middle school level this spring?
Going really well. I always say, we've probably got the best coaches in all of Northeast Ohio, if not, the state, when it comes to our middle school athletic programs. And, track and tennis, definitely. We've got some great coaches there really helping. But I want to start with tennis. So with track today, we've got one more invitational, which is Saturday at Heritage, the Heritage Invitational, to give our athletes one more chance to qualify in that top 50 to go to state, which is next weekend. So I did my homework, and I went to the OHSA miles split page.
Okay, there you go.
So here we go. So we're going to start with our boys. Alex Searson is ranked 48th in the 100 meters with an 11.95 time. Then we have the 110 hurdles, and Chase Harris is ranked 9th with a 16.48. You'll hear his name a few more times. And then for our 200-meter hurdles, we have Vin Vojak, who has a 28.56, and he's ranked right there at 49th.
Okay.
Then we have our 4x2 boys team. They're ranked 15th with a time of 1 minute 40.5 seconds. Then we have our boys 4x8 team, who is ranked 41st with a time of 9 minutes 37.42. And then our long jumper, Chase Harris, is ranked 25th. With a jump of 18 feet, 6.5 inches. And then again, in high jump, we have Chase Harris again, ranked 19th, and his high jump is 5.7.
Awesome.
Yes, and so we got some good things right there. And then for our girls 4x4 has a time of 4 minutes and 28.16. They're ranked 18th in the state right now. And then Kate McGonnell, who also broke the school record. We may have talked about that the last time I was on talking about track. And she jumped, she's ranked 13th, and she is jumping 4.11. And I watched the video from the Invitational, and her heel just clipped it. She cleared it, and as she went to bring her foot, her heel clicked and clipped up. So Josh Petrucelli really thinks that, she's got a good shot at getting to that 5 because
Okay.
she was right there on that 5.
Yeah.
So we've got some good things there. And then Coach Runau sent me the overall season updates. So the boys finished as CVC champions. Our girls finished second in the CVC. The boys, which I think they surprised themselves at the Minter Invitational, which is a very competitive invitational, they ended up being the champs for that invitational. They were second at the Perry Invite this week. They were undefeated in our dual meets, 6-0. And then our record breakers in the boys would be our 4x8, Cedric Hare, Wesley Peters, Vin Vojak, and Chance Pike.
Okay.
And let's see here, Alex Searson tied our 100-meter dash
wow.
record at our invitational the other night. So
Yeah.
he is now has down to the 10th of a second,
Okay.
tied with, I think it was Pike.
Dane?
Yes, Dane had that record. And then our 4x4 team set a new record this year. Alex Searson, Chance Pike, Vin Vojak, and Chase Harris. And then our girls finished the season 5-1 in dual meets. And then Kate McGonnell, as I stated, has the record for high jump at 4:11. And then our 4x400 team that has qualified for state consists of Aubrey Hopkins, Corey Crowfoot, McKenna Freeman, and Bryn Trefsker.
Okay.
So there is a lot of exciting things. So we still have one more day
Right.
to get some more athletes there, but the boys are coming on really strong.
Yeah. Well, for those of you who don't know, and I don't expect many people to know this, they just started the middle school state championship meet about 3 years ago. And you have to finish in the top 24 in the state of Ohio in order to qualify for the state. So it's all divisions. There's not division 1, 2, and 3 like there are in high school. So we're competing against the mentors of the world and these bigger schools and the smaller schools as well. They're all grouped together.
Yeah.
And the top 24 times or distances jumped or heights jumped will qualify for that state meet down in Columbus. So they put out the top 50 list this week, so you have an idea that you're
Yeah.
in the ballpark, but of where you need to be. And if you finish in that top 24, Saturday is the last day to qualify for it. So
Yeah.
as Mindy said, we're heading to Harvey that day. So hopefully it looks like the weather's going to be good.
Yeah.
And it's going to be warm, and we're going to be able to sort of, if there's good competition, that usually helps, breed good times. Like, so we want some good competition. We want good weather, some warm weather, and we get some of those times down, and we could get more kids going than you even said in there. And we'll give an update next week
Yes.
once we know what everybody is doing there, because as she said, the state championship is Saturday the 17th of May.
Yeah,
so,
at Hilliard.
at Hilliard High School.
Yes.
So yeah, it's an exciting time. We've got some records to change on the board.
Yes,
down there
already. Brand new board.
Brand new record board down there. We got to go in and change some stuff.
Records are made to be broken.
That's what
so
we
here we
want.
go. That's what we want.
That's
Yep.
right. So, and then how about middle school tennis?
So middle school tennis, the tennis team has had some excellent participation from all 17 of their students this year.
Great.
From the beginning to the end. Their season will wrap up next week. And their coach said the quality of tennis has been very high. He said we were able to win every match against our local schools and played evenly against the bigger schools in the Heights area. We expect 8 eighth graders will have the preparation necessary to continue playing at the high school level, and our beginner students can now keep the ball in play and have learned tennis scoring and etiquette. All of our students have improved to different degrees. Most importantly, we have continually come together as a team and have had a tremendous experience together. And like I said, we've got some really good coaches down there. Mike Moster, who stepped up, I think,
Yeah.
3 years ago to
Yep.
help out, and Craig Austin, who's
Yep.
been helping us out for quite a while.
Yeah,
so
those guys are great. They do
Yeah.
a great job. It's combined boys,
Co-ed.
girls team, co-ed team, but those numbers are great. 17
Yes.
is an awesome number to have. We had struggled previously to have, either one.
Right.
Boys or girls, so our numbers were always right on the border if we're going to have a team, so that's why we're in that co-ed situation. It's great, though. It helps both boys and girls tennis, obviously, at the high school level.
Yeah, and for anyone listening, I mean, even though it is co-ed, one of the other reasons we moved it to the spring is because there is a consortium and we're able to get more matches scheduled. I'm actually able to overschedule in the spring so that we can actually take like the newer kids and B players and we can do B matches. Versus, the kids that are a little more experienced and A matches. Whereas in the fall, I mean, a lot of schools don't want to travel.
Yeah.
They don't have teams. And so this has given us an opportunity to provide more competition and more opportunities for our student athletes, which is really what it's all about.
Yep, agreed, 1,000%.
And does that help a little bit not having to go against a baseball or a softball in the middle school level where in the fall you would have soccer or volleyball that might take some of those kids away from experimenting with tennis?
Well, the nice thing is, a little bit, but I am, with the middle school, I really, really encourage kids to do multiple sports. So we do have a lot of kids that will juggle multiple sports, which I love. We've seen kids that have tried, like last year we had Kaylee Erickson. I talk about her all the time. She did 5 sports as an 8th grader. And because she tried so many sports, she was able to find her niche and the things that she really enjoyed. So now as a freshman, she found a lot of success in tennis. She did really well for me at, JV basketball this year. So I think it's really good for us to be able to share athletes at the middle school to give them those opportunities so they can find what they really enjoy doing.
Awesome. And then to wrap up, so that's in middle school sports.
Yes.
That's it. It's track and tennis in the
Yes.
springtime. So that'll put a wrap on it. We'll give an update next week on where we're at with who's qualified for that state meet down in Columbus on May 17th. But then also some exciting news last week in that last Friday night, our flag football team won 2 games and won their little region out at Brooklyn High School.
Yes.
And to qualify for the quarterfinals, or the Sweet 16, if you will. 16 teams left in Northeast Ohio to be at Brown Stadium Monday, the 12th of May. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the Browns are calling it Browns Championship Night. So, that's why I'm referring to it as Browns Championship Night, because only a select group of teams are invited to come down. And, this is my 5th year, and I've been coaching football for 17 years. But I still get so nervous before these games. It is crazy. I get more nervous these football games than anything. And so it seems like we always come out a little flat, a little apprehensive that first game. And so Brooklyn, they're new this year. And so they came out and we started out a little flat. But we took care of business. The girls, we had some different things. We had 2 blitzers coming at Kendra this week, which created a little bit more of a challenge for her, but we were able to make some adjustments to build her confidence. And then the girls talking last week told you, actually 2 weeks ago, talked about Hawk, and we lost by 2 points to them. But I told the girls, they were nervous, even when we practiced before those games last Friday. Okay, I need a blitzer coming at me. Because they have a really fast, quick blitzer. And I said, but it's hard sometimes to beat weather. And we lost to them because we had thrown a pick 6 in a monsoon. I'm like, you can't. So we did really good. I was really proud of the girls. We made some adjustments. And really, we only ran about 4 plays the whole game offensively. And instead of using Emily as a deep threat, a lot of times these schools, they start sending those blitzers in the middle of the fields open. So we would just put Emily right in the middle of the field. And then once they'd start keying on her, and as soon as I would hear a coach say, you're sticking on number 24, I'm like, okay, now you're going to the outside, you're going deep. And then we'd move somebody else in, like Maddie Buhner or Mallory Liddy, to catch those balls right in the middle of the field to get us, some openings. So we were able to chew up some clock. And it's hard to see, girls walk away in tears, Hawken, but boy, was I grateful that we were not doing that. So I'm really excited for the girls. I told them before the game, I said, okay, now whether we get sprinkles on the way home on our ice cream is up to you. It's all up to you. So we were able to stop at Dairy Queen. We supported our local Dairy Queen, and we told them, hey, we decided to come here because we appreciate all the support you give our student athletes. So we stopped there. And when we stopped, I think it was our kindergarten flag team was there.
Oh, awesome.
And they had won the championship at Minner that night. So we
Yeah.
celebrated together,
Yeah.
the littles and the bigs. We offered
That's
to play them
awesome.
in the parking lot,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
you know, they said they might embarrass us. So,
Yeah,
you know.
that's true. You don't want you were 2-0. You didn't want to push.
Yeah, yeah, we didn't want to push.
You didn't
Yeah.
want a loss that night.
Yeah, so
All right. Well, best of luck Monday in that Browns championship
Yes.
event. One of 16 teams again in all of Northeast Ohio, regardless of size. We're the 10 seed. So who do we play Monday?
we play
first?
Rhodes at 5:40, and
Yep.
then if we beat Rhodes, then it's looking like we'll end up playing Edgewood, which it's their first year, and their varsity
Right.
head football coach is coaching them. And
Yeah.
so those girls, I see them at basketball and
Yeah.
track, so I've been talking to them.
Okay.
So it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, best of luck to you here.
Thank
on Monday.
you.
I appreciate you spending some time with us.
Yes.
That's Mindy Allen, Perry, assistant AD. JV softball coach, flag football coach, JV basketball, head football coach of the middle school. She does it all here at Perry. So thanks to Mindy for all her time and efforts. We're going to call up our first athlete of the week, and she represents our softball program. Maddie Rupert, welcome to the program today. There is a certificate for you. So if you get to use this, thank you. Mindy just talked about the Dairy Queen. They do a great job supporting our Athlete of the Week program, so you get a free meal deal and a blizzard here at the Perry DQ. Use that whenever you'd like. But Maddie, welcome again on board. Let's just talk a little bit about the season. We just had senior night. We just wrapped up. On the same night we have senior night, we wrap up the Chagrin Valley Conference title with the win against Conneaut. And so let's just talk about, I guess, those emotions of the day. It's senior night. You're walking out there with your parents. It's one of the last times. Well, the good news is, I think I said this to the parents, good news is not our last home game, but it's one of the last home games. We're going to get a postseason game coming up. We've played Jefferson tonight. But how was that evening overall, just in terms of, all right, you got to do the senior night stuff, but then making sure we take care of Conneaut. We were favored to win, but knowing that was a clinching game, how do you handle everything that day?
Obviously, it was a pretty stressful day,
Yeah.
just considering that it's senior night. You know, you play 4 years, you go
Right.
through everybody else's senior night, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
it's yours.
Right. Goes quick.
But, you know,
doesn't it?
it's
Yeah.
bittersweet. It's
Yeah.
been a long 4 years,
Yeah.
but, you know, it was really nice to finally have, like, our time. And there's
Yeah.
6 of us this year, so
Yeah.
it was a pretty big deal. And then going on to play Conneaut, it was a great game. We all played very well. We all hit well. I think I pitched pretty well.
Yeah.
I only gave up 1 hit that game.
Right.
But yeah, it was a great game. I think we all we weren't very stressed about the game, considering you know, we've beat them before.
Sure.
But yeah, I think we all played very well. Didn't let it get to us that it was an important game.
Right. Awesome.
And you mentioned the 6 seniors. So as you look back at what you guys have been able to accomplish, like what kind of mark, what kind of legacy has this group been able to leave for Perry softball?
Honestly, like, this group of us has been amazing. I mean, we've all worked so hard over the last 4 years. We've played very well. I mean, last year I think we tied the CVC.
Yep.
So, I mean, we've all just put in so much work. A lot of us have been playing since we were little. So I think that we definitely are going to leave a mark on the Perry softball program.
Well, and back-to-back CVC championships, because last year we did share it, but it goes up on the banner. You're CVC champion last year, a CVC champion this year, so the back-to-back years. Was that a goal at the beginning of the year that Coach Carino, Coach Infalvi had talked with you guys about, and Coach Monis, like, all right, hey, let's take care of business first in the CVC, or what were some of those conversations like at the beginning of the year?
You know, our main goal, like, starting in the beginning of the year was obviously to win the CVC.
Yeah.
That's kind of always our initial goal. And now that that's done, I mean, we plan to go as far as possible in the postseason. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
And you kind of glossed over the one hitter on Tuesday, but you know, just talk about your season on the mound, because you know, obviously when you go back to your sophomore year, basically you were the only pitcher that the team had, and you had to throw all the innings. Last year, split some time.
Yeah.
This year, getting back. Like, how have you developed as a pitcher and been able to like control when you're in the mound, control the game when you're inside the mound?
I mean, starting sophomore year being like the only pitcher, it really put a lot of pressure on me, but I think that that also improved me a lot and made it so that no matter how stressful the game, how many innings I get to pitch, splitting time, no matter what the circumstances are. I feel like I'm always ready for that because of how much pressure I had sophomore year being by myself. Honestly, it is such a relief that we've had 2 great pitchers come up and we have 3 arms that we can use in different situations, different games, to throw batters off and everything. But I think myself as a pitcher, I've put in so much work in the off season, gaining speed, gaining new pitches, and just trying to improve myself as much as possible for the benefit of the team. But I think that it is just amazing that we have Morgan Winters and Sophie Savan to help us out. So.
And not to dwell too much on it, but last week there were legal pitches and things like that. But how do you stay in your own positive mindset when things, I don't want to say out of your control, because to me watching it, it looks similar to how you've pitched all season long and even going back to last year. So how do you kind of put that behind you, then come out and throw a one-hitter against Conneaut?
To me, I didn't even think about it. There have been new rules put in place to allow, like a hop, I guess, off the mound. So I didn't change anything as far as my motion. Me and my coaches discussed after the game that, that umpire didn't know the new rule, I guess. But, that's always how I've pitched. So I just kind of, let it go, moved on, and continued working. So.
And then at the plate as well, you're a pretty big force at the plate. So if you're not pitching, you're not at first base or third base. Let's transition to the offensive side of the ball. Had a home run Monday, a solo shot to left in the 4th inning. Take us through that at bat and what you saw in that process to get you to hit that home run.
So Geneva has a very good pitcher. She throws a lot of movement. She's pretty fast. And I actually did struggle with her when we played them at their field a couple weeks ago.
Sure.
But, I've adjusted to that in practice, hitting off the machine, hitting off live pitching, tee work. I even met with my coach, did some one-on-one work to kind of, work on my swing a little bit. And then going into that game, I kind of knew what I was looking for, what pitches I was looking for, what to let go. And in that at-bat specifically, I was really hoping for kind of a high inside pitch, and she gave it to me, and I took it to left. So
all right.
It worked out for me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and you can kind of see as you're talking, so this question might not be a question now, maybe it's just a statement of fact as you're kind of just answered this, but the Jefferson, the Edgewood game, you went 4 for 4. You've been on this little hot streak recently, but I think you kind of just answered what kind of changed in this recent stretch. And it's not like you struggled this year, because out of the 21 games you guys have played, I think you've had hits, at least one hit in 16 or 17 of them. So it's not like you're just on this little heater right now, but this maybe added dimension of maybe refocus has really got you on this little hot streak recently.
Yeah, I think I started off this season hitting pretty well. I've made a lot of improvements with my hitting since sophomore year. That was a pretty rough season hitting-wise for me. But yeah, this year I started off hitting pretty well, even in our winter league at Cleveland State. And then about 2 weeks ago, I'd say I kind of had a little bit of a slump. Wasn't going too great. But like I said, just putting in some of that extra work and, just getting back to the basics really helps me sometimes. Just making little tweaks here and there. So, yeah, I think it worked out for me, and I'm doing well now.
And then from a team perspective, we're hosting Jefferson tonight. Again, this is Thursday afternoon. We've got Jefferson this evening. And some people say, "Oh, that's a CVC game. How do you know we wrapped it up?" Because we have Edgewood can't catch us essentially. So this game, not that it doesn't mean anything, but at the same time, it's not for all of the CVC or anything like that. We've already secured that. Mm-hmm. But Jefferson did get us the last time we played. So what do we need to do tonight to sort of change that around and get a win against the Falcons this evening?
I honestly think that the last time we played Jefferson, we just weren't at our best. And I'm expecting to go out there and win tonight. I think behind the plate against Jefferson last time, we didn't hit the best. But like I said, we've all made a little bit of an improvement in the past couple weeks here. Through practices and games, we've seen some other pitchers similar to Jefferson's. So I think that we're more ready this time to go at them.
Okay. and we could see them in the postseason as well. The way the postseason draw sets up, we get a bye in our sectional final game, so we sort of advance right on to that district semifinal match, which will be a home game for us. But Jefferson's definitely on the other side of that bracket. We could see them coming right back to us here in another 10 days or 2 weeks, whatever that date might end up being. So hopefully tonight we can go out and put a good foot forward against the Falcons.
Yep, that's the goal.
And real quick before we let you go, the trip to Florida this year, obviously it's always a great bonding experience to get the girls together. And you guys played some amazing competition down there. So one, how was the trip, but also how important was it facing some of those teams to get you guys to where you are right now, CVC champions, the 3 seed in the postseason, and sitting with a 16-5 record?
I think that these spring break trips are one of the most important things that we do as far as team bonding. It really gets a good start on our season by getting us all a little bit closer, and I think that helps us a lot during the game. As far as playing wise, I think personally that trip helped me a lot. We played teams like Perrysburg, a couple other teams out of Columbus who are ranked in the state for Division I, and we put up a good fight. I think we went 6-8 against Perrysburg. So pitching wise for me, that gives a big confidence boost and just helps you get ready for our season. And then I think as a team, we all got to see some good pitching down there. We got to have a lot of good fielding opportunities because these are good teams. They're hitting off of us. So yeah, I think that really helped prepare us for this season.
So Maddie, when did you start playing softball?
I started T-ball. I was
T-ball,
probably
so you're
5 or
playing.
6.
Okay,
yeah.
so been at it a while.
Yeah, long time.
Best of luck here as we wrap up the season. CVC champs, back-to-back years. And I know this team is looking and sort of well poised to make a nice long run here in the tournament. So best of luck as that happens. We'll update everybody here each and every week what the Lady Pirates on the softball diamond are up to, and hopefully we can make a nice little run here. Before we let you go, though, we've just got some little questions for you, little off-the-wall questions, a little get-to-know-you session here. So can you tell me what is your favorite food?
I really like sushi.
Sushi.
Yep,
That's
that
been
would be
more of a
Yes.
popular answer over the
Really?
last couple of months. We've gotten sushi. Do you go anywhere in particular for your sushi?
There's a place in Madison that I like, and there's
Okay.
a couple places in Menor that
Okay.
we'll go to sometimes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How about favorite subject in school?
Tough one.
Yeah.
Probably English. I'm a
English,
pretty good
alright.
writer.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. And you are going to Ohio University.
I am,
So,
yes.
and that's you're going to major in. I just announced this, so I should remember it. Communications, I believe.
Communications
So.
and minor in political science.
All right, awesome. Well, you got to write to be both of those things.
Yeah.
So that's good. Good that you like the
Yes.
English. Favorite movie or television series or show?
Honestly, ironically, my favorite movie has to be The Sandlot.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
just been my favorite
That's
since
awesome.
I was little.
Awesome. Love it. That's a great one. It's a classic. Favorite memory from anything Perry Athletics? It can be from T-ball, rec, middle school, high school, anything that when you walk across that stage here in literally 8-9 days, what are you going to take away from your experiences here as a Perry Pirate all the way down K to 12?
Honestly, I have so many great memories from, rec softball, all the other sports I've played too. But I think that my favorite memories from high school at least have been all of our spring break trips. I've gotten to go to Pigeon Forge twice
Yep.
in Florida this year. Just a lot of great memories down there. So
That's awesome. It's a great bonding experience, as you mentioned earlier, and great opportunity to not only get some playing time and to get out of this weather in
Yeah.
March, but that team bonding is so important.
Definitely.
Any hobbies outside? You're busy, you've got a lot going on, but any hobbies that you like to do outside of athletics?
I like to go to the gym a lot in
Okay.
my own time.
Yeah.
I also I go hunting in the winter with my
Okay.
dad and brothers. We have a hunting property.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's about it right now.
Okay.
Summertime, we get the jet ski out, a lot of time on the
Get
lake.
on the lake,
so,
right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
If you could visit any place in the world, money's not an object, where are you going?
Hawaii, I think.
Hawaii is a good call.
Yeah.
Okay. Maddie Rupert, thanks a lot for being
Thank you
here.
so much.
Congratulations
Yep.
on a great season and best of luck in the postseason.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Maddie Rupert, representing our softball program today.
Yeah, if you can, Thursday night, obviously, you might listen to this after the game has already happened,
Yeah.
but they will be, take on Jefferson tonight. They're at home against Wycliffe tomorrow on Friday,
Yep.
youth night, and then, as you mentioned, the playoff game after hitting 2 road games next week. I guess they could technically be home a week from Friday against
Yeah.
Chardon as well.
Right. Okay. Awesome. We're looking forward to that postseason run. And now we'll have our male athlete of the week, Logan Buhner from our baseball program. Thanks for being here, Logan.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. There is your certificate.
Thank you.
Make sure you take care of that and cash that thing in. Get some food at Dairy Queen. Just like we talked with Maddie, you're a senior. You haven't had senior night yet, but it's coming. We're about 24 hours away. So Friday night, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. If anybody wants to come out, we'll intro our seniors about 6:30-ish. And then we're taking on South tomorrow night. I'm sorry, senior night's against Harvey. South is Saturday, so we'll get to Saturday in a second. But what are you looking most forward to about senior night, or are you not looking forward to it?
I'm looking forward to
Okay.
it. I feel like it's been a fast 4 years. So
Yeah.
senior nights doesn't feel real, to be honest.
Right.
So it's gonna be exciting. All of us been playing together for a while, all
Yep.
4 years. So it should be a good game too against Harvey.
Yep.
They're not the best, but it should still be a good game.
Good. All right. Well, and we're 50. So let's recap our season so far. We're 15-3 on the year. We're number 6 in top of the crop. Obviously, a fantastic run postseason wise last year, all the way to that Elite Eight game. What does this team need to do? Obviously, we have 15 wins on the year against only 3 losses. What are the strengths of this team, and what do we need to do to sort of make another run at that like we did last year in the postseason?
Our bats are definitely one of our strong points.
Yeah.
We have a good hitting team like throughout the entire lineup.
Right.
I feel like everybody can make havoc if they want to, wherever they want. And we've had freshmen and sophomores like step up pitching wise this year.
Okay.
We lost 2 pitchers last year,
Right.
Jason and Aiden. So they've stepped up a lot and have helped us a lot this year.
Awesome.
And let's just talk about that a little bit, because that was one of the things I had down, because we had Kate Henderson on at the beginning of the year before you guys went to Florida. He talked about pitching maybe being a question mark, losing 2 big horses from last year. So obviously you're one of the pitchers in that stable. How have the younger guys stepped up, maybe exceeded your expectations?
Definitely Carter Hopkins. He didn't play a lot of varsity last year, but he's been a pretty good starter this year. Same with Connor DeStolfo. He didn't pitch a lot last year either. He
Right.
stepped up pretty good.
So just replacing those horses,
Yep.
as you said, and just eating some innings. Are you pitching as much as you did last year?
No, I hurt my arm in the beginning of the year,
Okay.
so I haven't pitched that much.
Okay.
I pitched 1 inning against
Okay.
Orange like 2 days ago.
All right. Was that your first outing of the year?
Yeah,
That was it?
basically. Yeah,
Okay.
1
How's the
inning.
arm feel? All right.
Yeah, it felt good.
Okay. Good.
Picked
So
up a save.
You got a save.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. Pad that stat
Yep.
line, right? But we did. Those were big CVC games against Orange. We beat them by the same exact score 2 days in a row, 4-3 on our field. So it was like, if people were looking at Twitter out there, it's actually 2 different games, but same score. So 2 big wins. We beat Shaker last week, and then Geneva as well last night. So we're definitely rolling along here. As we mentioned, Harvey for senior night, and then South on Saturday, who we played down in Florida to sort of start the year.
Yeah.
And now we're almost to the point where we're almost wrapping up the year. What type of team does South have?
Um,
And we
They-
because we beat them.
I
We
think
scored a
it's
lot of runs. against them.
13-6.
Yeah, we pounded them a little
we hit
bit,
really good
so.
that game.
Yeah.
They also can hit too.
Okay.
They hit a home run that game over the fence. It was a bomb. They've probably definitely improved throughout the year, so it'd be nice to see them again on Saturday and see what they've done.
Okay.
And we talked with Coach Platt either last week or the week before. How is it playing a team in back-to-back games, or maybe a game off in between, where you're seeing the same team in consecutive days? Is that an advantage for you, a disadvantage? I know they'll switch the pitcher, but does that help at all, seeing the same competition?
It helps because you know like who's like a threat in the team, in the lineup, like what to prepare for. Seeing the different pitchers definitely like a little bit harder though, because you don't know who's pitching until the game starts. So it could be a little bit challenging sometimes, but it can also have benefits.
And you touched on this senior group being together for a long time. Kind of the same thing we asked Maddie. When you guys leave, what kind of legacy, what kind of mark is this senior group going to leave on Perry baseball?
I feel like we should definitely lead like a leadership, because I feel like we all like helped out the underclassmen throughout the years and helped them stepped up and at the varsity level, and just leaving a good legacy. Last couple of playoff runs, we've gone to districts both years.
Yep.
So we just want to keep that going on.
And we haven't done that in a long time previous to that. So everybody, sometimes when you have success like that year after year or multiple years in a row and it sort of becomes old hat but let's not forget prior to that, and no disrespect to any of the teams prior to, we just hadn't gotten there in a long period of time. So the success we've had is certainly a reflection of these guys as seniors and juniors last year and upperclassmen. Our coaching staff does a great job as well. So one person I wanted to ask you about as a pitcher, and even though you've only thrown one inning so far, hopefully some more to come. What has Coach Hartman meant to you as a pitching coach, and how has he helped you develop as a pitcher?
Coach Hartman's been great throughout high school. Since a freshman year, he's been coaching me.
Yeah.
And I've transformed as a pitcher through him. And he's always on everything I do. He's on me about. So it's just nice having someone there. Like if I'm making little mistakes in my motions and stuff, he's always there to say something about it.
Yeah, pretty scientific. He's been at it a long time. He's sort of one of our unsung heroes. I wanted to give him, he doesn't even probably know what podcast means. He's been around baseball for 40 plus years, but he's one of those guys that truly is an unsung hero. He is out there. If you drive by the field, like I do on most days around 9 a.m., he's already out there. He's working on the field. He's getting puddles off it from the night before, or he's getting ready for that day's game. And without him, we would certainly be, not only from a pitching standpoint, because he does a great job with our staff, but from a field maintenance standpoint, our crew of guys do a great job. They just can't be out there for 8 hours a day. Coach Hart volunteers his time, comes up here, and we've played several games this year because of his efforts. So shout out to Coach Hartman, though he'll never probably hear this or even know what we're talking about here on this podcast. But he's been a great role model for all of our coaches and helped a lot of our young coaches along as well. So, shout out to Coach Hart. All right, Logan, let's talk a little bit about the opposite side of the play. You haven't done a lot of pitching this year. As a hitter, does it help that you've had a history as a pitcher when you step up into the batter's box and you're facing somebody maybe a little bit of an advantage of knowing what to look for or anything like that?
Yeah, I feel like I'm when I get in the mindset, when I'm up in the batter's box, I know when I'm trying to pitch to somebody, so I kind of have an understanding what they may throw to me, and just be ready for it.
And do you go up hunting a pitch, hunting a section, or are you just going up there, read and react, see a pitch, and then kind of lay your plan from there?
I definitely go up hunting a fastball, but if I see it's an off speed, I definitely try to send it backside, get a good barrel on it.
And then from a defensive side, again, we hope to see you on the mound a little bit more here as the season wraps up. But you're playing left field for us, and when we had Coach Platt on, he was just raved about our outfield and how talented it was. What makes that group so special from you and left to center to right?
I've been left since freshman year. I've
Okay.
started a lot of games out there, so
Yeah.
I'm really used to it at this point.
Sure.
Luke, he's just 4.2 speed. It's just he tracks everything down. So
Yeah.
then right field we kind of rotate. It's usually
Yeah.
Carter Crowfoot out there.
Okay.
He has a good bat.
Yep.
And then if he's at first, we have Chase Savant out there.
Yeah.
And you just rotate out.
So speed everywhere out there.
Yeah,
All of you
basically.
guys are speed. I've seen you play soccer. I know you've got the wheels too. I've obviously seen Luke and Carter and Chase all play, and that the speed can kill out there. And you guys track a lot of balls that normally would go for hits. So it's a huge defensive advantage for us for sure.
And you talked about being out there 4 years. Where have you grown the most from freshman year to where you are as a player right now?
Definitely in outfield. I didn't play outfield before high school, and I just told him I was I'll become an outfielder. And I've definitely grown a lot. I was terrible in my freshman year outfield. I couldn't what's it called? Track a ball to save my life.
Yeah.
And was this one of those where, hey, I just want to play, so I'm going to tell coach I can play outfield, I'm going to learn it, and then be a staple here for a number, just to do whatever you can to get on the field?
Yeah, my freshman year we had so many seniors. Our entire team is basically seniors, and I just told them I would play outfield. And I played second base my freshman year. I played second the other day too.
Okay.
I've been moving around a little bit.
All right. Well, awesome. And then let's talk a little bit about that spring break trip. We talked about it with Maddie in softball. So this year was Cocoa Beach, Florida. In the past, we were in Arizona. How did those two trips compare? Did you have a favorite between the two?
I kind of liked Florida better.
Yeah.
Arizona was cooler, but it was
Yeah.
kind of cold out there. In the
Okay.
morning. It was 50 degrees in the morning.
Right.
Florida was 75 degrees every day.
All day long. Okay.
And Coach Flat told us the fishing trip did not go well.
No.
Were you one of the ones sleeping underneath, or did you?
Yeah, I fell asleep.
Okay. Yeah, he talked about only catching a couple last week.
I caught like one little fish in the beginning. I didn't catch anything after, and I was just done.
Those are rough. Those are rough trips if you're not used to the rocking and the swaying, that's for sure. All right, Logan, before we let you go here, first of all, best of luck here as we approach the postseason. The draw for the boys is this Sunday, so we'll know by next week 35 of our podcast here, we'll know where you guys are going to be playing from a postseason standpoint. My guess is based on our great record and rank, we're going to end up hosting some games here at home, so hopefully that's the case. So even, same as softball, even after senior night, sort of bittersweet night, but we're going to be hosting some more games. We'll let everybody know where those are. But best of luck for the rest of the year. Before we get you out of here, just some get-to-know-you questions. Favorite food?
Probably donuts.
Donuts. Any particular place? That's a unique answer.
Krispy Kreme's always
Oh,
good. When
okay.
it's warm, it's so good.
Yeah, I can't argue that. All right, favorite subject in school?
Probably history.
History. Movie or show, series, TV-wise?
Probably Breaking Bad.
Okay, it's a good one too. Favorite memory? Again, little guy all the way on up, whether it's rec, middle school, high school. What are you going to take away? Again, you're graduating. You're heading to the University of Cincinnati, correct?
Yeah.
Well, all right, best of luck in the fall. You're going to graduate here in about 10 days. What are you going to take away from as one of your memories here from Perry athletically?
Probably same thing as Maddie. The spring break trips to the baseball
Yeah.
team are always the highlight of every season. I feel like.
Yeah.
Arizona with the seniors last year. That was probably my first time.
All right, that's awesome. Any hobbies outside of sports?
Probably hanging out with my friends and playing video games.
Okay.
I don't do that much.
That's pretty common though. That's a good thing. Visit any place in the world. Money's not an object. Where is Logan heading?
Probably Japan.
Okay,
Somewhere
different.
out
All right,
there.
cool. All right, Logan Buhner, Athlete of
All
the
right,
Week.
thank
you
you.
very much. Best of luck for the rest of the year, Logan, and we'll see you down the road here. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, you got it.
As we talked about, join the boys tomorrow night for senior night.
Yes,
Harvey, follow it up
yes.
with a game against South, early morning game on Saturday. So
Yes.
night game followed by the early morning. So a nice
Quick
turnaround for them.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, for sure. All right, let's call up Coach Walker here. He's able to join us today. He is our head boys tennis coach here at Perry High School. We're 13-3 overall. We just won the CVC championship last week. Welcome, Coach. Thanks for being here and taking some time. So, a 3-2 win last night over Edgewood. We'll sort of go in reverse. Good win for us.
Yeah,
again.
they're a tough team this year.
Yeah, for sure. Is that our second time getting Edgewood?
We did them earlier.
Same score, 3-2.
4-1 the
4-1,
previous.
okay.
What
All
a
right.
different lineup this time.
Okay, fair enough. Well, overall, again, CVC championship has been secured. That's going to go up on the banner. We're 13-3. We're heading into our postseason draw here, and let's talk a little bit about that next week. We're going not anywhere real close by, but I think it gives us the best competitive advantage. Tell everybody where we're heading next week for sectionals.
We are going all the way to Worcester.
Woo!
Playing at the College of Worcester.
College of Worcester next Tuesday the 13th.
And as we look at some of your players, let's start at the top with Caden Brewster. He was in here a couple weeks ago. Fantastic young man. What is it like having him back now in the Perry fold and anchoring the top of your singles?
He's been a great addition. Brings a lot of energy to the courts. He's had 2 losses on the year, I believe. He's kind of filled some big shoes when we lost Alan Morris last year to Grove City after graduation.
Yeah. And he was telling us a story when he was in here about how you switched him to serving left-handed when he was serving right-handed most of the time, and you figured something out and said, "What are you doing serving righty?"
Yeah, he was doing some lessons in the off season,
Yeah.
and I knew he was a quarterback, and I'm like, the serve in tennis is just like throwing football. You can throw a spiral, you can hit a slice serve.
Yeah.
The mechanics are very similar. I'm like, just imagine you're throwing a football. He's like, well, I quarterback left-handed.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, why are you throwing left-handed or serving right-handed when you throw left-handed?
left-handed, yeah.
And he goes, that's how I was taught,
Yeah.
not by me.
Right.
So we started messing with the mechanics, and
Okay.
right off the bat, he already had more power on that side.
Yeah.
It took a little while to get the consistency
The
down.
accuracy,
but
yeah.
Definitely, and it's a little tricky going from left hand to right. You got to get your left hand off the racket and your right hand on the bottom after it. But he does it well. So
Okay, cool. And have we had his draw yet? Do we know what he looks like?
we do. It's kind of weird this year. I thought he'd get seeded,
Okay.
which probably would have the same draw
Yeah.
being seeded, but I got to put him where I wanted. I put him in the 3 seed bracket where
Okay.
I thought he should have been anyway.
Yeah.
The seeding in tennis is a little bizarre. We were all the way out in Worcester, and
Some
all
probably
coaches
don't know
vote,
us.
and they don't know us.
Yeah.
So they kind of teamed up and kind of teamed all the teams from that Worcester area
Yeah.
and seeded above him. But I think it might actually be in his advantage to not be seeded. There's no expectations.
Yeah.
He's not seeded. He's going in there, and so he has a favorable draw. I like his chances.
Good. Well, it is one of those things that, so this is this 2 years old or 3 years old where we sort of get to pick and choose if we're ranked in a certain, we ended up 10th in our thing. So the OHSA now lets you pick the top 10 or 12 or 15. That number changes. Get to pick where you go as opposed to just being assigned for many years. We were either at Solon or Hawken, which was our closest site to us for sectionals. Now we get to pick. We can go to Youngstown, Worcester, the West Side, Strongsville, all host different things. But Worcester, I think, I would agree with Coach. It gives us the best chance to have some success down there.
Yeah, this is the second boys season.
Okay.
They did it once with the girls. So this last year's boys season was the first year that if you get ranked in the top 16, you can pick your section. And being ranked in the top 16 was kind of a goal. Knowing this year we have Hawken at the Hawken district, returning I think at least one state qualifier that went deep last year. A good player. Axel Neely. So we were able to stay away from them and go to what I think is a weaker sectional that fares us a better chance.
Yeah.
He had a chance there too, I think, and I think our doubles teams have a better chance out in Worcester as well.
Well, and speaking of that, last week the Dane brothers told us that you're combining your 2 second and third singles together to make a doubles team. But let's talk about their singles performances this year first before the doubles. Let's start with Andrew Morris and what he did for you this year.
He's stepped up. He's had some big wins. He had some competitive losses as well that he played some pretty good kids. Lost a 3-setter to Erie McDowell, to a tournament player out there that mainly just plays tennis, where Andrew's playing basketball and splitting his time. So he's stepped up a lot, helping this big senior or sophomore class.
Yeah.
We have I think 8 sophomores. Love to see some freshmen next year, and
Right.
even some people that come out to help our numbers. But we have a good sophomore class with 8 athletes in it. So Andrew's kind of the leader of that. Bronson not far behind him. Bronson Denholm.
Yeah, third singles, Bronson. So we have a sophomore, obviously sophomore heavy team overall, but our top 3 players singles wise are all sophomores. So you get 2 more full years with all of those guys, and then Andrew and Bronson are teaming up and playing doubles here at sectionals.
Yes, they have a favorable draw. I think they are also in the 3 seed bracket, which is a team from Norton that our first doubles team last year of Ty Culligan and Garrett Rupert played tough. I'm pretty sure it's the same team. I didn't look back at the stats, but pretty sure it's the same team that I think this Bronson and Andrew are better than. They have other teams obviously in their draw as well, but
Sure.
that seems to be the favorite to come out of that. But I like their chances there as well.
Awesome.
And when you approached them to combo to make them a doubles team, how did they take that? What went into the thought of combining them together after playing all year as singles?
A lot of the teams do it. If you don't think you're going to get to districts as a singles player. There's so many good singles players in Northeastern Ohio that the other way is to team up with someone that you can make a doubles team with. They actually approached me. I was going to approach them, thinking that was their best chance, but they actually came to me. What do you think about us? I'm like, I think it's a good idea. So we did it, and we'll see how it plays out.
And both those guys, really soft players, very good players. Both won CVC championships at second. Andrew at second singles, Bronson at third singles. Ran through that tournament pretty straightforward, and helped us win that championship. So we'll look to see how they do. Our other doubles team will be Alex and Benny Dame, who we had on last week as our athletes of the week. What has Alex meant to this program? Only came out last year for the first time, sort of was dragged out there, convinced, whatever you want to say, to come out for tennis. And he's got that sort of effervescent personality. He's very outgoing. When Alex is around, you can hear him 5 courts away. But what has he meant as we had senior night last week as well, or is it even 2 weeks ago? The times are flying. But so Alex is our one lone senior. But what has he meant to the program?
I think he came out to tennis, to be honest, with the guidance and encouragement from Alan Morris. I'm pretty sure that was the reason he came out last year. Stuck it out on JV, mainly played singles for us on the JV. He got a few varsity matches in last year, and he's stepped up. He's definitely, as Coach or Mr. Rockwell said, he's a ball of energy out there.
Yeah.
You hear him, and it's interesting to see the brothers, older brother, little brother.
Right.
Little brother might be a little bit better tennis player. He started a little earlier.
He said he admitted on the show that Benny is better.
He is a little better, but he's done his part on his side of the court, and they had a big win yesterday.
Okay.
We went with our sectional lineup against Edgewood, and needed both doubles to come out there, and they handled a pretty good Edgewood team fairly easily.
Okay.
So I like their chances too. They're in actually the 4-seed bracket with the team that beat them from St. John earlier in the year. But Benny's definitely gotten better throughout the year, and Alex for sure as well.
And I'm sure in your time here as a coach, you've had siblings play together before, but did they come to you to play together? Was it your idea to pair them? Like it obviously they get along together great, but there could have been that dynamic of maybe a little friction between the two.
We had a very close challenge matches going on in the beginning to determine our top 7, and I kind of went with them as a good doubles team is you have that steady player, and then you have someone that hits the ball a little bigger and can put it away. You need somebody that's going to keep the ball in and do kind of just hold their side of the court, and you need that one person that's going to be the offensive minded of it. And I said we'd see how it goes. It's how we started the season. I kind of knew the 4 players that were going to play doubles. And they were getting along. If they didn't get along, we probably would have switched it up. But I think that their dynamics together has fared well, and I like the partnership the way it turned out.
Yeah, lots of energy. They're entertaining to watch, that's for sure. I think having some experience playing together, albeit not in a doubles format, but being on the golf team together and pushing each other there. There were times Benny played the number 1 position last year, and Alex played 2 or 3 or whatever, and they flopped around. We had a lot of good golfers, so I think that helps out. Our second doubles team, Dorian High and Jackson Scardino, they ended up taking second place at the CVC tournament in second doubles. So do those guys move into the singles lineup
They
then?
did.
Okay.
They're both in. That's why we got them.
Went
with that sectional lineup yesterday. Get them a little singles work, and they both played fairly well against Edgewood.
Right.
They both lost, but Jackson played, a human backboard at 3 that just kept the ball in all day. It was a long match. It was a little warmer, and they're not used to playing out there. And there's a lot more running in singles than there is in doubles.
Yep.
But I thought they both played well, and like their see what they can do on Tuesday as well.
So do you think it's harder to transition from the singles to a doubles player or a doubles to a singles?
On the pure side of, if it's a hot day, it's definitely harder to go from doubles to singles because, in 2 sets in doubles, you're not moving nearly as much as you are on the singles court. But doubles is a complete different game. I mean, the tennis strokes are the same, but the strategies between singles and doubles are completely different. But we'll get some more work in today. Hopefully, was raining when I came in here. Hopefully it dries up that we can be outside and get a little more work outside. But if not, we'll be indoors and we'll get our practice in regardless.
Was there a meet, a match, something this season where you thought, you know what, these guys, like, we're going to make a run. Like, these guys are getting it, it's clicking. Or maybe even for the boys where they came to you and said, you know what, this was the match that kind of springboarded them.
Our goal was to win the CVC. Looking at our schedule, I knew most of Madison's teams. Kirtland's kind of a surprise every year. They get, a whole bunch of athletes, and they're pretty much good at every sport out there in Kirtland. So I knew they'd have some athletes that came out. Wycliffe had definitely some players at the top. They just weren't quite as deep as us. I was kind of, interesting to see how Caden would react at one. Big shoes to fill like we're last year. Allen was pretty much a lock-in just about every conference match we went to. And Caden this year has been the same, undefeated at first singles. So I think we expected to win it, to be honest. But after a couple matches, like Wycliffe the first time gave us, some fits at 1 and 2 and made them play. And it wasn't guaranteed, obviously, but I think that it was ours to lose this year.
Yeah.
Did you guys make a trip to Erie?
We did
They
not.
lost at the last minute, right?
It was
little
we had it on our
switcheroo.
schedule that we were going there. They had it on their schedule. We were coming here, and when the coach goes, "Well, we're going to be there at 3:30," I'm like, "Okay, we'll
Sounds
see you at
good to us.
3:30." So,
I only asked because of the pizza place. I remember that from the trip last year, and all I've heard about for the last 3 months, 4 months since girls tennis has ended is about the pizza place in Erie.
What pizza place is it?
That pizza place, Patty's Pizza,
Patty's.
wasn't really great pizza. They had more subs that were better than their
Okay.
pizza, but it is closed. So it was,
Oh,
when the coach told me that, I'm like, well, I'm glad you came
Yeah.
here because the only reason I agreed to play is to get
Yeah.
Patty's
All right,
Pizza.
so you got to try, and I don't know what their time frame is, but down on Presque Isle, Sarah's. You guys ever been to Sarah's? Good burgers, hot dogs, milkshakes, like an old 50s style, like almost like an Eddie's Grill.
Okay.
But not affiliated with Dairy Queen. Have their own ice cream. Really good, really good. Right by Waldemere. So check it out next time. Little note there.
When we go to Erie or Fairview next year, we'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, very good. All right, Coach Walker, thanks for being with us today. Best of luck in the postseason on Tuesday. We'll keep everybody updated on Twitter throughout the day and let everybody know how it goes after next week. Hopefully, we get some guys on to districts.
All right, that's the plan.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks a lot. Appreciate it, Coach
Thank
Rob
you.
Walker,
Thanks.
head coach, Perry Boys Tennis, and yeah, certainly best of luck. We're just at that time of year where everybody is in that postseason mindset, and I know our boys, now that we've wrapped up the CVC, are ready to go into that sectional frame of mind. And like you said, having those guys play some doubles last night in a match is going to help them, and as well as our guys who are going to play singles. So fun time. We'll see what Tuesday brings. I'll be down there and trying to keep everybody up to date.
and does that start as early, 9 in the morning?
9
I believe it's-
a.m..
Yeah, okay. So yeah, they'll get off and running. I think the only spring sport we haven't talked about is track. Is their season, again, we had Addie Tresker on last week, is their season is starting to come towards the end here.
Yeah, our last regular season event of the season is tonight, actually. Again, we're taping here Thursday, the 8th of May. Our team is en route to Euclid for tonight's Euclid Relays. And then that will wrap up our regular season, and we go right into their conference. It's set up a little bit differently than even tennis, who, we had those championships prior to the end of the regular season. Now that regular season's done for track, we host the CVC. So we're happy to host and proud to host. We've got a brand new track out there We've hosted a lot of track stuff this year. And so Tuesday, we actually have two divisions, the Chagrin and the Lake Division, which we're part of. We'll run two separate heats. Tuesday night, we'll have field events, everything, the whole 9 yards. And then the finals will be Thursday night. So prelims on Tuesday, finals on Thursday here at Perry. 4 p.m. field events. We run our finals for the 4x8 on Tuesday at 5:30, followed by everything else at 6. And then we start right at 6 o'clock for our running events Thursday. So if you want to come out and support the track team as they look to win CVC championships on both the boys and the girls side, come on out Tuesday or Thursday, and we'll be here.
And then the last thing we kind of touched on it the last couple of weeks, but the golf outing is quickly approaching.
It is, and we still got space. Not a ton. So if you want to play, if you have a foursome and you want to get in, email me, call the athletic department office, get a hold of Mark D'Astolfo or Heather Yankee. Reach out to one of us. We'll get you in. But I think we have 18 or 19 foursomes. We can go to 25. So we can add another 4 or 5 if you're still interested. And we're always looking for whole sponsors as well. So if you can't make it and your company or your family or whatever wants to sponsor a whole, we'll certainly accommodate that as well.
Yeah, just another exciting week for the spring sports here at Perry. Is it starting to wind down?
Yeah.
You've mentioned it. The seniors, they're coming up on their last day. They're going to be out of the school soon enough, but a lot of sports still to come as postseason is right around the corner.
It gets a little weird for the seniors having had a couple where it's like, all right, you're going to graduate, but then you're still going to come back. You're going to put the uniform on. You're still going to run track. You're still going to play baseball or softball game, but they do a great job year in and year out. So yeah, our seniors' last day is tomorrow. They have a half day on Friday, the 9th, and then graduation is Sunday, the 18th of May. So it's all coming together. May flies by. It's the craziest, busiest month. May and August are the two, just out of this world months. They fly by so quick.
Yeah, but so get out here, support. There's a lot of events going on here at Perry over the next week. So get out here, support any of the 4 spring teams that are going on.
All right, Gene, thanks as always for being with us today. Thank you for joining us here on the podcast, Walk the Plank, wrapping up week 34. Until week 35 next week, go Pirates.